Sagittarius Collective. Thank you for joining me for your energy reading. My name is Keita. If it's your first time joining me, welcome. And if you are a returning viewer, welcome back. I'm going to be doing a shadow work reading for you guys. And I'm going to be starting out with the Starseed Oracle. Many of you may be identifying as a Starseed, Lyrians, Syrians, Arcturians. So even if you don't, the message may still resonate with you. But the way I see it is we're approaching the spring equinox, which is a time of blossoming and new beginnings and rebirth. And so it would behoove us as a collective to tighten up a little bit and do some shadow work to make sure that we're not taking certain things, patterns, people into this next chapter. So I'm going to be pulling from the Starseed Oracle to kind of lay the foundation for the message. And then I have quite a few decks out here that I'm going to clarify with. So Father God, Mother Earth, ancestors and spirit guides, I thank you for your love and light and ask that you bring forth the best message for the highest good of the Sagittarius Collective. As you have already so urgently done, we thank you for the message that is coming forth. Ashe. So upright, earth, learning how to be human in the world, but not of it. When I tell y'all that is a journey, like I said, many of you may be starseeds. You may be resonating with being in this world, but not of this world. Having interests that don't necessarily align with what's popular, what is according to the dictates of the patriarchy or even your group of friends or family. You just feel like you've done this before or you had an experience outside of this world. I personally feel like I've experienced a life where people operated from pure love. I feel like I've had experience somewhere where a lot of the things that are commonplace here were foreign, you know what I'm saying, unheard of. Like I feel like I've lived somewhere and in another time other than this one, right? And so having that resonance and being in this 3D reality in this time and place is like, it's a lot to navigate sometimes, especially when people don't operate from love. So it's like, I get it. I get the imprint that has been put on us, not them, but us. I get the influence. I get the rules and regulations and the laws of the land, right? Just our 321, which is also my birthday, which always reminds me of my life purpose. So I get all the things, and for that reason, I can function and operate in this world from a less judgmental place. But it doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of this shit just feel kind of foreign to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't quite get how people are so in other people's business about how they live their life and whether they identify as masculine or feminine or who they screwing and whether they are a man in a dress or a woman in a suit or like stuff like that don't bother me. To the idea of two men having sex, God is love. Just off 411. The idea of two women having sex, that's not foreign to me. The idea of cherishing children and the elderly, that's not foreign to me. You know, we live in a society that says that we value children and the elderly. However, the systems that are in place reflect something very differently. The way we actually treat children and elderly on a day-to-day is actually something very different. So I don't know. Like I totally resonate with this message of learning how to be human, because even as starseeds, even as people who have these spiritual gifts and talents and resonating with other lifetimes and being from other planets or whatever the case, we're here now. We chose to be here, and we have to learn how to be earth angels. We have to learn how to exist as earth angels, just off 511, and that's the challenge for many of us. So that's face up, right? Which tells me this is something that a lot of you already kind of resonate with or identify with. But face down is your life is a canvas. I'm sorry, I'm not showing y'all the cards. So this is earth. As part of your sacred contract, you chose to come down here and do the things that you do, to be who you are, to accomplish what it is that you're meant to accomplish on your divine mission and experience what it is that you are experiencing. But your life is a canvas, artist, manifestation, and creative accountability. So what this says is, while you're here, you might as well make the best of it. You might as well put your good creative energy to use and not let it go to waste, because you have creative accountability. There's this quote that Nina Simone is famous for, about the responsibility of the artist. Let me see if I can find it, because it's reminding me of that. An artist's duty, as far as I'm concerned, is to reflect the times. All of us have a responsibility to express ourselves and allow our creative output to be a reflection of our experience here at this time on earth. And so we're needing to be mindful of that. There's also a interview of James Baldwin that I have saved in my YouTube. Now I really got to watch it, because I'm feeling really led now that this card has been pulled. And it's on the same topic, the moral responsibility of the artist. So in this interview or documentary or whatever it is, he's talking about the moral responsibility opposed to the creative accountability. But I'm willing to bet you, once we watch that thing, he's going to speak to the stewardship of our creative gifts. So we're needing to tap into our ability to manifest, our capacity as creatives and artists, because we all got it in us somewhere deep down off in there. We brought it with us from other lifetimes, other realms, other existences. Here lately, I've been pulling out my canvases. I love to keep like blank canvases around the house in case I get the urge to paint. I am not JJ Evans. I am not what one might consider an artiste. However, just like with singing, I don't mind, okay? So sometimes I feel like pain. Sometimes I roll me a L and just get on the back porch, especially if the weather permits, and paint and chill. And whatever come out. You know, I'll find something to trace or freehand or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I never do anything with them. They just sit in the closet and collect dust. But it's creative expression. So here lately, I've been painting these Egyptian scenes, because those are like the visions that have been coming through to me real tough. So that's something to be mindful of on your journey. If you have not painted in a while, or drawn anything, wrote a song, or just found some way to have some creative output, and it can look however you want to look, you definitely want to tap into that, and also know that you are held accountable for what you do with your creative gifts. So take a responsibility for your creative stewardship and what it is that you're manifesting. Since you're here anyway, you might as well pour into the collective pot of divine energy That's all your creative energy is. It's your expression of the divine within you and a reflection of your experience or your perception during this time, right? So at the top of the deck, we have, and I pulled two, cracked open. Rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. What you got going on in your life, you may feel like you've hit rock bottom, but you're actually being split open, and some of your best work is going to come from this place. So whatever hurt, pain, disappointment, confusion, just all 10-10, you're completing a cycle and beginning a new one. And the thing that's going to help be like therapy for you, while you are moving through what you're moving through in your 3D reality, is your how you channel your creative energy. So know that you're not being it's not happening to you, it's happening for you, and you're needed to surrender to the alchemy of life. Surrender to how God is leading you to take the energy from times past, or take the energy that no longer serves you, or no longer feels good to you, is no longer comfortable for you, and transmuting that, stretching, expanding, growing, elevating. So in this image here, you have a woman who she's being split down the middle. But as you can see, it's like her whole identity is changing. It's like she's taking off a mask almost to reveal her true self, her the energy that lies deep within her. So what you're going through is just revealing a deeper, more evolved version of you. And I had pulled both cards at the top of the deck, so I'm gonna go ahead and tap into what's underneath that one as well. Activated Earth. Power places, ley lines, trust where you are led. For many of you, this feeling of being at rock bottom, it's leading you out of a comfort zone, but it's leading you somewhere where the energy that you need for this next leg of the journey lies. Because with ley lines, that's like being in the right place at the right time to get the exact energy that you need to align with, so that you can be activated with that energy. Now, there are a lot of activated spaces, especially all over the world, where our ancestors and the ascended masters once lived, and their energy still resides, right? So if you go there, you can tap into those energies as well. So you got places like Sedona, Arizona. You got what's the giant in Northern Cali? Some mountains. Oh, I can't think of it. Sedona, Mount. You would think I smoked the air today. The way I can't remember nothing. Let's see. Spiritual. I'm just going to put ley line, mountain. And watch, once I pull it up, I'm going to be like, duh. I was planning to go to Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta. Mount Shasta is said to be very spiritual and historical ley line, or activated earth, where a lot of people go to tap into those energies to ascend. It is said that a lot of people who resonate with being either Lemurian or Atlantean are there, like live in that area or from around there, or are led there. New Orleans with its rich spiritual energy. Memphis with its rich spiritual energy. Those are like hoodoo capitals, African American traditional religious capitals. South Carolina and the Gullah, where the Gullah Geechee people originate, the people who originally brought over the customs from Africa and preserved them throughout slavery. Of course, Egypt, in terms of like international travel. There's so many places that have spiritual energy that still resides there, and we wonder why we're being led there. It's because it's something that's meant to be activated within us there. So Don't be surprised if you're being led to relocate in some way or away from some people. Hell, it could just be moving from one neighborhood to another, or from a group of people to cultivate a relationship with another group or community or person or whatever. But when it comes to those ley lines, it's about being in a different place, right? And at the bottom of the deck, loosen your grip. Coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. This speaks to that capacity that we have to try to control the narrative, to try to dictate how things unfold, and not surrender to where God is leading us and what God is leading us to. As you can see here in this image, this lady is falling. And she can't fight it. She just has to surrender to it. So I'm going to clarify this reading with the key to intimacy. Y'all get down in the description box and let me know if any of this resonates with you. 17, misalignment. Where you are, what you're doing, and possibly whom you're doing it with, you're misaligned. And that is where the shadow work takes place, because you needed to surrender and do the work to allow the divine to lead you to where it is you're being aligned. So it says, and this is represented by the number 17. So this is something that it breaks down to an 8, and this is something that is leading to you to where your abundance lies. Miracles become normal once we face all of the aspects of our life in the same direction. Because so right now, you're probably wondering why certain things in your life are not working out. They're misaligned. You got people around you who don't support your endeavors, or they're not the ones that's meant to support the things that God is leading you to do, your creative output. You're in a career that's possibly a dead-end career. There's no growth there, or you no longer align with it, or you're not in the city or state where you could thrive in that career. There's some misalignment somewhere. For some of you, you are in relationships with people who are not in alignment with where the divine is leading you or your divine mission. And I know that's hard to hear. But a lot of times when that's the case, we be knowing. We be knowing who we lay up with and who we play with, you know what I'm saying? Who we invest our time and energy with ain't really somebody we meant to go the long haul with. And that's not just in romantic relationships, that's friendships as well. Something within you possibly feels like there's better out for me. There's something else or somebody else I should be doing. For some of us, it's our mind states, where the way we think, our routines, our philosophies, our beliefs are not aligned with the abundance that is in store for us. And so we're needing to surrender to sweetness. Surrender to the sweetness. Venus energy, pleasure, joy, make love to life. And this even further supports us talking about a relationship, because you got this gentleman here in this beautiful body of water, and you got a guy that's sitting over here waiting and watching. Somebody is needing to surrender to the sweetness. It's like you can see somewhere in your vicinity, God is showing you where sweetness lies for you. You feel it and you fighting it. So at the top of the deck of the Lantern Oracle, you got, and I'm going to read the message of misalignment. Number 6, which is in the reverse. And this came out in another zodiac shadow reading too. I think it was either Aquarius or Pisces. But number 6, trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Again, some of y'all got some people around you that don't mean you no good, and they're not in alignment with the gifts that God has for you. And they sneaky, sly foxes. The fox often represents sneaky energy. This being in reverse, this tells me that you know it. They ain't getting away with nothing. They can't out slick a can of oil, as the old folks say. You know what's up with these people. And at the bottom of the deck, you have Number 40, inner integration. Also, trust and tricksters being in reverse. You may have already separated yourself from these people, or you're in that process of separating yourself from these people, or because you know there's some misalignment there. But at the bottom of the deck is inner integration. There is peace, equilibrium, and fulfillment in integrating the inner wild with the taming and a tempering effect life has on us. For many of us, this speaks to integrating our masculine and feminine energy, like finding the balance between being active, being logical, being rational, being a protective energy, providing, and being receptive, being intuitive, having a healthy emotional state, resting, self-care, love. Finding that balance brings integration and peace and equilibrium into your life. And when you find it within you, you're better able to attract it outside of you and enjoy moments like this. You find it easier to surrender to the sweetness because you love yourself. You've integrated your masculine and feminine energy, and you're therefore better able to enjoy and appreciate something like this. You're better able to align with enjoying being in an oasis with a counterpart. They in paradise, having a good old time. Ain't nobody got to rush to go punch no clock or none of that. And it's just them. No slick foxes, no outside interference. Just them and whatever this is and some planets. Yeah. They tucked off somewhere. And it looked like he admiring her. If you can see him, it's like he got his hand on his chin, like, look at God. Ain't God good? Look at her. And she probably thinking the same thing. Look at babe. Look at my mind. God is good. So I'm going to read the message of misalignment for anybody who is struggling to understand what it looks like to be misaligned and why it's important to do the work to get aligned. And for some of y'all, that's having some hard conversations. That's, where the book? Damn, James. I do not know where this book is, y'all. Hold on. To get my life together. What could I have done with this freaking book? Wait a minute. Ain't be far. There you go. Y'all, I'm walking around here talking about, okay, now where did I get this irresponsible? I usually have my decks and stuff together, so I'm like, now wait now, hold on. I'm reaching a whole new level of being unorganized or misaligned. Okay, number 17. Look at me being hard on myself. I had just set it to the side and couldn't see it. It says, what is possible expands beyond our capacity to imagine when we attune our lives to what makes our spirit self sing. It can be challenging to commit to whatever it takes to align all aspects of our life with our bliss. Often, we are met with obstacles such as fear, conflicting expectations from others in society, the need for ongoing discipline, the upheaval of releasing from our life all that is not aligned, and determining how to make our lives sustainable once we surrender it all to the bliss of living our truth. Surrender to the sweetness. Allow love to lead you. Follow your heart. Make love to life. Participate in whatever loving endeavor the divine is leading you to. And some of y'all, you probably wondering like why you having a difficult time connecting with somebody in a love relationship. What if that person is not in the city you're in, or that person is at the next job that you being led to apply for, next career you're being led to pursue, or like this screams your joy, your bliss, your abundance, your happiness, your happily ever after is just outside of whatever it is you just refusing to let go of. Whatever shift that you're struggling to make to get in alignment with it. I did a personal reading the other day, and something came up that has come up in a few readings, personal readings that I've done, and that is that sometimes you're not the version, or we're not the version of ourselves that we need to be in order to align with the person we're meant to be with. And so we're just needing to follow the signs and the synchronicities and the directives and the intuitive nudges and the things that the divine is leading us to do so that we can get in alignment. So it says the process of wholly aligning and integrating ourselves can feel like too much. We may be unwilling to take on the effort, risk, and loss from what this process involves. This is totally understandable. So is wanting to do it sporadically or all at once. The ball is always in your court with this. Therefore, the importance of this card is its reminder that you always have the choice to turn toward rather than away from personal alignment. Even if you take it one nuanced facet at a time, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant the detail, it matters and will make all the difference to you. Trust me, I get it that for many of us, getting in alignment, what we being led to do, the shit is scary, it's risky, and it is calling us to get out of our comfort zones. But you have to follow that advice of whoever came up with the saying that you can't eat an elephant all in one bite. You got to take it one bite at a time. So if this is a move, just day by day, start to plan out the move and take the actions that you need. If this is and get around people who will encourage you. And if you can't count on the people in this 3D reality to encourage that move, then you need to more heavily rely on your ancestors and spirit guides and cultivating that relationship, your relationship with the divine. There's always help and assistance available to us, even when we don't have that support with what it is we're being led to do on this side. Sometimes it's intended to be that way, that people are against what it is that you're being divinely led to do, just to so that you can show to prove to yourself and show the divine just how committed you are to this sweetness, this paradise energy, to creating heaven on earth for yourself. Because again, you're here, you might as well make the best of it, right? So it says, regardless of what you choose, it's always beneficial to be aware of where you are misaligned. A way to do this is first to identify where you are aligned. Place the hand that you write with on your heart and ask, what do I conditionally love about my life? What do I unconditionally love about my life? Write the answer in your journal. Repeat this process with the question, which experiences, environments, people, and activities give me the greatest fulfillment? If your answers are taken from your past, include why they are now absent. Alternatively, your list may consist of how you would like your life to be. If so, be sure to include the reasons your life is not this way at present. For some of us, we holding on to people or experiences, jobs, careers, or whatever because of the longevity. You've been there for a long time. You've been knowing them for a long time. You've been knowing them since elementary school. You've been knowing them since high school. When I tell you I am a living witness, that shit don't mean shit. Like, they served their purpose during that time and during that cycle. But you get enough of those disappointments, you get enough of those stirrings within your heart and passion within your gut for something better. Once you come to understand that you deserve better and that you're worthy of better, you'll be like, fuck that. Life is cyclical. It's not as linear as we like to purport it to be, which means it's not a straight line. Things don't go from point A to point B all the time. Sometimes you gotta go from point A and drop a motherfucker off at point D. And circle back to point B and pick up some people and y'all head on to point G. You know what I'm saying? Like, life is cyclical. It's not as straightforward as you think. So a lot of us, we be thinking like, just because we was been cool with somebody for a length of time, or we've been doing a certain thing or believing a certain thing for a length of time, that we supposed to die with it. That's just what it's supposed to be. And that is not how God intended it. So it's not to feel like you a failure or you are a bad person for wanting to disconnect or move forward. Sign that those people are not for you is that if they were for you, they would support what makes you happy, especially if it ain't nothing that's hurting you. You know what I'm saying? So that's something to be mindful of, and I hope that y'all will take this here journal prompt and really apply it so that you can take assessment of what's going on in your life and what is keeping you misaligned. And for many of you, it's those people or those things that you are refusing to let go of, regardless of the fact that God, whom we claim to love and devote ourselves to so much, is leading you to do something different. Gently proceed to write with compassion where exactly you and certain aspects of your life feel uncomfortable, forced, outgrown, or in some way misaligned. Unpack whether these areas have become part of your life from fear-based choices and thinking, or from having compromised your truth, core values, or integrity in some way that you did not realize at the time. Perhaps you would have done things differently if the circumstances had been different. For example, it may have felt possible to choose otherwise if at the time you had made yourself a priority or left a stronger sense of confidence, self-worth, or self-love. Or maybe with sufficient funds or the support, belief, and guidance that you needed from others, more preferable choices would have been available or made known to you. Hello. Some of these relationships, they're circumstantial. These relationships that you hold on to and that you are using as a benchmark for how to govern yourself in other relationships, that shit was circumstantial. That was the situation you found yourself in at the time. Your money was funny, or you didn't love yourself the way that you have now learned to love yourself. Again, like I said, that self-worth, that confidence, your beliefs were different, and therefore you aligned with them then, but you don't align with them now. There's a shift taking place within you, and that's okay. Come with the territory. I damn near don't fuck with nobody that I once had longevity with. And it was a hard pill to swallow at first. But when I tell you now that God has brought me to this point on a journey, I see exactly why those disconnects had to take place. I be looking back like, yo, I ain't think shit of myself back when I was fucking with them. Them folks was robbing me without a gun and no bullets. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ain't fuck with me. And some of them, when they did fuck with me, it was conditional. And if it wasn't conditional, then they would have been people who rode along with me on this journey and would still be riding with me now. But that's not the case because it wasn't meant to be. And that's okay. So it says, take a moment to extend compassionate consideration, love, and honor to your former self's predicament and limitations. Be at peace and in acceptance of having done your best at that time. Had you known any better, you would have chosen and done better. Now return your hand to its place on your heart and ask your spirit self what you can do to initiate a loving step toward aligning one detail of your life with your truth. Write down the answer when you are ready. Decide whether to act accordingly. You may wish to repeat this journal exercise each time you seek clarity on the next aligned step available for you to take and whether or not to take it. So this message provides a mother's message, and it says, regardless of how misaligned things may seem, alignment is only ever a different choice in action away. Trust that spirit self will more than meet you halfway in supporting you through each aligned step that you choose to take. You have got to trust that the divine is not trying to lead you somewhere to drop you off. The divine is about to ride with you every step of the way, but you got to take this step that you're being led to take to align with the life that the divine is trying to lead you to align with, this integration. The divine wants better for you. You want better for yourself. But when it comes to those action items that you're being led to take, how the fuck you think you're going to bake this cake without the ingredients, without putting all the proper ingredients together and following the steps it takes to make it? You know, they say if you can't stand the heat, get your ass out the kitchen. And some of y'all asses, this is exactly what you have done. You done got all your ingredients together. You done made up your mind what you want, how you want it, and all of that. But then once you read that recipe and discover what all you got to do and how hot it's going to get in the kitchen, you said, shit, I might need to rethink this thing. Y'all, stop playing. Stop playing. Do this shadow work. This shadow work that y'all being led to do is calling for you to journal, take an assessment of where you're misaligned in your life, and then take some divinely led action. So I hope that this message finds y'all well. If it did not find you well, I hope something was said that leaves you well. If you're needing some support on any of what has been said, feel free to email me at turquoisemajesty@gmail.com. We can work together via a reading or something more intricately curated for your particular need. But whatever the case, y'all get this shit done. Get it done so that you can reap the harvest, reap the reward. Surrender to this sweetness. Allow this love to lead you to pleasure and joy. Now look up and look into Venus energy. Find out what's your Venus if you don't already know what your Venus is. And are those people in your life that you're holding into, or those things in your life that you're holding into, do they align with what your Venus placement says is should be your experience of love? But yeah, y'all, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share the video should something have been said that will resonate with someone you know. Peace.